Hello, this is James Aldridge speaking to you from a project in Peckham that we completed almost 2 years ago now. This project was kind of largely inspired by a visit that I had, my first visit to Japan, and also the client had also recently been too, and we both kind of fell in love with many aspects of the country and the design, the aesthetics. So a lot of the choice in paving detailing, the materials, and a lot of the planting as well is loosely guided by the aesthetics and experiences from that country. What has been made, and Scruff is here too, what great use has been made of is this wonderful burnt timber that has been used throughout the garden. So on this left hand side we've got this magnificent panel of child timber which has remained looking really quite fantastic throughout the time, and we've taken a bit of borrowed landscape from next door, this Clematis armandii that's just being threaded through some mesh over the top, and it's nicely kind of hanging down and softening the tops of that. The garden's kind of split into two levels, and we have a lower level that's about 600 mil below main garden level, which was an existing feature to work with. So we've got a western red cedar floating bench here, and then with black granite paving, and then we used standard kind of silver granite road sleepers as a detail throughout the garden. So they've been used here to create this generous flight of steps. And then on the opposing side we've got a bar top in black granite with charred timber doors and a built-in barbecue. One of the lovely features of the garden was this rather lovely old apple tree, which kind of hangs out over the garden, and has brought a little bit of maturity to the scheme. A lot of the planting was kind of my response really to spending a lot of time in kind of wild places in Japan. And there's sort of much finer textures and a lot of repetition, quite naturalistic in many ways, but used a lot of things which I kind of have become staples really. Hackenplur macra, Libertia grandiflora, and Sotomium falcatum, which I kind of really love, and also the green form of Ophiopicum planiscarpus, which is just threaded in with a lot of mind your own business here. And you get these wonderful little blackberries that kind of come and last throughout the winter. And then something new that I hadn't used before was Mahonia soft and Nadina domestica, which I'd always kind of disliked for quite a long time, but it's one of my favourite things at the moment. And these will be allowed to kind of grow up, and we'll thin them out, so they become like sort of umbrellas kind of coming up out of the planting with bare stems below. And then moving through the garden, there's a raised terrace at the back, and we've got a kind of mix of these pebbles and black granite and silver granite used here, and this is a sheltered seating spot at the end of the garden, bamboo screen at the end, and then I designed this bespoke timber shed that is also clad in this charred black timber as well. So it's been a rather nice little kind of oasis of a garden. It's been fun to watch this grow up over time. Something that I constantly keep using in my schemes, even though I said I'm going to leave it behind, is this very simple kind of support structure covered in galvanized weld mesh that's just covered in a range of evergreen climbers. It's been slightly slow to take in this garden, of planting it at less densely than I would normally, but it just makes a very thin boundary screen that adds greenery rather than a kind of another hard surface. We've got a mix of things here with Clematis armandii. We've got jasmine polyanthum, and also Trichiliaspermum jasminoides. Anyway, thank you for watching.